Hi, my name is Deepa George. I'm a HR consultant, and today I'll be answering questions about mental health at the workplace. Okay, so the question is whether or not you want to actually tell a potential employer that you have depression, right? And whether you should do this at the onset at an interview. So what I would say around this is typically you wouldn't offer this information, you wouldn't volunteer this information. Very similar to you wouldn't go into an interview ready to share your weaknesses, right? You want to put your best foot forward. But that being said, it's important for you to also understand that the employer is looking for certain expectations of you as an employee. So you may want to share situations around how you have felt overwhelmed. But very quickly from there, you move into how you overcame these challenges. As employees, or as candidates in this case at an interview, I wouldn't volunteer the information. And most likely, employers won't ask you directly whether you suffer from depression, but they may want to know how you handle stress. And what you can offer is how you've handled it, how you've overcome it, and how you're still able to hopefully meet your work requirements. Okay, so this is an interesting question, right? It's from obviously a leader who wanted to know that even if they have open channels today and they want to understand if the team is overwhelmed, they feel that they don't get a good sense of it. How can they find out whether or not the team is on the verge of burnout? There are two main things that you need to look at. First of all is the type of support that you want to offer. You have proactive support and you have reactive support. But before we even go into the proactive or reactive support, you must understand what is mental health to your team. Because what is important to one person or what might burn out one particular colleague may not affect another. So what is proactive support? Proactive, as the name suggests, is doing preemptive check-ins, as an example, with your team, right? So even though you may have regular meetings to check on tasks that your team is working, forget those conversations. Try to find 5 minutes in a week where it's just an informal check-in. Could be over coffee, over tea, anything that you want to do, and just finding out a pulse of where they're at today. Watch out for the unspoken and the unsaid, how they sigh, how they seem to be carrying the weight of the world. It's for you to understand how to try and read these cues that this looks like an overwhelmed Deepa versus Deepa last week or last month. Second, it would be to actually understand then what's important in their lives. What are the current drivers or motivators that affect this individual? Are they a young mother? Are they going through a difficult marriage or just going to get married or buying their first house? All these different life events can affect the level of sense of overwhelmedness, for lack of a better term, all right? And I think it's important to note that you need to provide these proactive check-ins. Second part, reactive. Now, reactive support is non-negotiable. This is when your team is already on the verge of burnout. They come to you and they tell you, I'm really struggling, boss, right? Then you need to listen to them, understand their challenges, and of course, no point just doing that, you have to act on it. Then you are providing support which is fit for purpose based on what the team needs. I'll be answering more questions like these in the upcoming BFM Health and Living Live by AIA Vitality, where we'll be exploring life in the next normal. So find out more about the event in the captions below.